That regime switching I will do with EViews, and ANN forecasting I will do with SPSS and matter finishes. No.
Yeah.
So the availability of a particular technique, application of a technique available in a software is also an idea for research. No.
Yes.
Obviously with the research gaps which you already have in mind, some research gap which you have in mind. Can I continue with the next one?
Yes, sir.
Now look at but doctor, we there is some lecture from a professor, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What time?
3 p.m. Yes, sir.
We are waiting for his joining. So you continue, please, sir.
Okay, okay,
Dr. Peter will join, then we can read.
okay.
All right.
So this I've discussed, no? Now when it comes to a higher degree proposal, in higher degree proposal you have to write the title, introduction, literature research gap, proposition, hypothesis, and reference bibliography and self biography, no? But in a UGC style proposal, there has to be project title, introduction, origination of research problem, interdisciplinary relevance, no? And now the technology part will also come if the UGC comes out with funding. And review of research development in the subject, international status and national status, no? So these are the contents, no, which I was mentioning in the morning. When it comes to an ICSR style output, no? Then in the output you have to write the objectives of the study, achievement of objectives, achievements from project, and contribution to the society, social implications, no? Okay. In a MRI type style which I've discussed, no? Title, abstract, findings, originality, keywords, and paper type, no? Paper type, whether research paper or a conceptual paper, empirical paper, conceptual paper, or a case study. Now, the common problems with the researcher. First is, what is the research design? What is the research design the researcher is going to pursue? Okay, that is clear to most. It's clear to everybody. Evidence on data collection capability or feasibility. When you submit a research proposal, whether you will be able to collect the data, what is your capability? What is the feasibility of collecting the data? Then what tools of analysis or techniques of analysis, I would say techniques of analysis you will use. And if there is evidence of large researches or all of large research done, then your research proposal may be rejected. Or it is altogether a new and innovative research. With new and innovative research also there is a problem. You have seen that commonality liquidity paper, no? Because a new and innovative research, so many people could not understand what this research. Then many times there is a difficulty to convince use of descriptives and simple tools in high data analytical research. There is a fashion going on that if, for example, in management, no, or in commerce, no, if you use only descriptives, mean, median, mode, and standard deviation and variance, no, there is no research. So it has become a fashion to use the tools, no. Suppose, am I audible?
Yes, yes, Dr. Pankaj.
Suppose there is a research which is done on college going students, no, that they feel good or bad about COVID, and 90% people say bad and 10% people say good. A logical conclusion which can be derived only from this tabulation is that most of the people say it is bad most of the respondents say it is bad. But if you write in this research output or thesis, no, then sometimes conventionally, I'm against those professors, no. So okay, they will say, okay, what kind of research you have done? No? You have not applied any technique, or no techniques have been applied, or no advanced techniques have been applied. Now, if you do a t-test on that, even though sample size is maybe bigger, or if it fulfills the requirement of sample size, no? If you do a t-test, no? T-test will also give you the same result. Agreed? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So when t-test is giving the same result, no, t-test is acceptable, but only tabulation is not acceptable. So if if you have to submit the thesis, if the research is like that only, okay, then you go by fashion, not by logic. So there is a lot of difficulty to convince use of descriptive tools in high data analytical research. Therefore, sometimes use of advanced analytical tools becomes a fashion, even though there is no requirement. The other problem is there has to be an expertise of tools and techniques beforehand. If you do not have the expertise, no, then it is going to create a problem. Can I continue, sir?
Continue, please. Continue, sir.
Yes. Now let me focus on a very important thing about hypothesis. No? Say two conventional forms of hypothesis, no? Null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. Are you aware of this terminology? Hypothesis is accepted or rejected?
No, sir.
No. If answer is no, then okay, then I have to tell. Sometimes people write like this. We accept the null hypothesis. Practically speaking, a hypothesis is null hypothesis is not accepted. The correct terminology is you have to write null hypothesis rejected or not rejected. It is rejected or not rejected. Now I'll give you one example. Suppose in a given regression results, we are trying to find out that the true value of beta is 0.5. The null hypothesis that beta is equal to 0.5. And the alternative hypothesis beta is not equal to 0.5 in this regression. If beta is 0.35 here, for example, if beta is 0.35, then null hypothesis rejected. Agreed?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I don't know, it looks as if people are sleeping, no?
Anyone can unmute themselves and can interact with the Dr. Pankaj. Everyone. It's an open platform for everyone.
Sir, only Shruti is
Yes, sir.
speaking right now.
Thank you, sir, for a nice informative session on SPSS and EVs. We are getting very much research ideas how to apply the SPSS and EVs in research papers.
But abhi thank you कहाँ बोलना था भाई? I have not finished. No?
Okay, sir.
But I don't know. I'm trying to solve some problems, na, which you will not find otherwise solutions, na.
Yes, sir. Please carry on.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
yes. So please do not write anywhere that it is a null hypothesis is rejected, na, is accepted. Use
Okay.
the correct terminology. Null hypothesis is rejected. Null hypothesis is not rejected.
Also, we can write we fail to reject the null hypothesis, right?
Yes, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. But it is foolish to write then null hypothesis is accepted. And what happens is that people keep on reading the old books, no, of statistics, no, from their 12th standard or maybe in the graduation first year and onwards, no, and that the incorrect terminology, no, that goes into their mind, no, that null hypothesis is accepted. You have to write null hypothesis rejected or not rejected.
Okay.
Then another important thing. About the question of formulation, determining the number of questions to be asked, select the questions and design the question sequence on overall layout. But some important concerns. When you are framing the questionnaire, avoid switching between landscape and portrait for text layout, and also using lot of lines and border and boxes, since the page can look dense, no? Okay, all of you are aware about questionnaires?
Yes.
Or what you can do is you can read, I'll give you this material and you can read it, no?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. If it is not possible at this moment, no? Now, I am discussing a very important thing out of my research, no? Okay. Research is black hole.
Hmm.
The black hole is that statistical observations becoming volatile, differing, and subject to uncontrollable bias. When you obtain data, or especially primary data, what happens is that primary data is highly volatile and sometimes is highly unreliable. If you talk about the efficiency of people working in a bank, in the morning the efficiency will be different versus in the evening. So if you go for filling up a questionnaire to a bank official in the morning versus in the evening, the answers will be different. Correct? Agree or you don't agree?
Agree, ma'am.
If somebody in the neighborhood dies because of COVID, the fear created by COVID is the highest versus that in your known relatives or otherwise nobody has died.
Yes.
Okay, when the vaccine comes, the perception about COVID will be different versus no vaccine available.
Yeah.
Okay, a government policy announced
So
investor
the
attitude will be
principles
different.
we have, the first and the foremost principle is principle of risk. Principle of risk क्या कहता है? Principle of risk says कि whenever we are selecting securities in a portfolio, right, it has to be done by comparing the return and the risk. Risk कितना हो सकता है, return हमें कितना मिल सकता है, these are the things that need to be considered. Then We have principle of diversification. Principle of diversification says
Hello,
that
sir.
the risk.
Some online class is going on.
Seems like
Okay.
someone is
Can I speak?
listen.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes.
There's background noise.
Okay. Somebody was explaining no, on that
Yes.
that there was a disturbance. Principle of diversification. Have you heard?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Now, people talk about Markowitz principle of diversification. People talk about Sharpe. People talk about pharma. Okay. And people talk about very advanced models no, of portfolio diversifying. For example, one of my PhD doing a research on portfolio diversification no, using quadratic programming and mathematical programming and using artificial intelligence.
Go.
Suppose I have to use, suppose I have to use, I find that yes, some kind of algorithm is available for portfolio diversification. यही जो मैम अभी पढ़ा रही थी ना, उसी
Yes, sir.
diversification ना, and say, and I write like this na, portfolio diversification using neural networks na, and I know yes, you can do in neural networks na. The proposal is maybe going to fall, or the research paper may be a futile paper, because it is not the software, rather it is the concept which is important. And you will find that software missiles are becoming glamorous with too wide range of options. If you see IBM SPSS packages, na, okay, every time they announce, no, new and new versions are coming. But being from risk management, I personally feel is that there is a lot of risk when you use pirated softwares. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
One possible risk is the piracy risk itself, but another risk which I feel is that there may be a possibility when you use a pirated software versus a licensed software, the answers or computation which you are getting, that computation may be different. That is also a possible risk. And now look at the third point, reverse engineering or back modeling as default, emerging default option. Suppose you, how many people are in the process of research? I mean, they have enrolled for PhD. Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes. How many years have passed?
Sir, last year only I enrolled myself in PhD.
But anybody who has been enrolled for more than 2 years in the participants?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay. No answer. Anyway, what happens is that sometimes you are not able to complete research. I'm not saying it is that you apply this, no. But what happens is sometimes it is necessary to justify research. No? So in that case, the results are known to you and you justify by data analysis. So reverse engineering or back modeling is the emerging default option sometimes. Then another problem is there are competing results. No, you apply one methodology, other result, another methodology, another result, and the implications are also difficult. So there it becomes a difficulty to comment on the implications. There is an extreme contrast available to accept or reject. If the any authority or maybe board of studies, no, board of studies or any evaluator, no, has to accept a proposal, there are many things now. This is now practical I'm talking about. Many things now. Okay, on which he can say yes, the proposal is good, but maybe many weaknesses on which he can reject. No, so there is extreme contrast available, and customization to generalization is mind-boggling. Generalization of research is a very, very difficult task, because what happens is, especially in primary data analysis, the the sample premises create a lot of impact, so it's mind boggling. Then public acceptance is also of a research is also biased. So there are a lot of biasness, no? And there's an uncertainty of our essence of research from -T to T periods. So these are some of the problems with the researchers. Sir, can I continue further?
Yes, you can continue, sir.
Yes. Now I will solve the dilemma, no? That my research paper, when I have to publish in a high quality journal, my research paper should be focusing on a technique, focusing on the issue. It should be a new or extension of the previous research, and what is the approach which I am going to follow. I hope everybody faces problems like this.
Yes, ma'am.
Only one has said yes. No? For others, there is no problem.
Yes,
My-
sir. I have published papers other than Scopus journals. We are facing lot of problems for publishing in Scopus and ISI journals, sir.
Okay. Have you seen my rejection of papers now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am watching the from starting.
Yes. Okay. So let me show you one interesting thing before this. No?
Yes, sir.
The file I think I've already opened. No? Are you able to see this paper?
Yes, sir. Sure.
So corporate risk governance and risk bundling evidence from Indian companies. So this journal is Scopus, no? Obviously, okay, is Scopus, no? And they reviewed the paper in about 1.5 months and gave some suggestions regarding, writing of the variables and some suggestions regarding literature. And after submitting the revisions, within 3 days, the paper was accepted. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the same paper was rejected since January 6 times, 6 or 7 times by Scopus Index journals. And these journals, in their theme, they have corporate governance as their theme. And researches on corporate governance are obviously published in those. So there was some question, no? Before starting this. Somebody asked this question, no? About this publication is Scopus rejection, no? Who said? Somebody from the participants, no? Just now asked question, no?
Yes, sir. I
Yes,
asked.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now you answer, no? To me that this paper was accepted here. Okay. And total period is this is, no?
Why it was rejected, sir, for 6 months?
It for 6 times.
6 times.
6-7 journals, no? They have rejected.
Yes.
So this is the biggest puzzle. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Now, solving this puzzle, no? Or you have solution in mind, then you can suggest to me first, no? Then I will suggest.
Journal theme.
General theme, I have shown you liquidity and commodity risk paper. Objectives, scientific methodology, newness of research.
Yes, sir.
और बताइए, अब सवाल ये रिसर्च ये है कि वो 6 जर्नल्स में पेपर रिजेक्ट हो गया एंड इन दिस जर्नल इट वाज एक्सेप्टेड. So is that journal very liberal, or those journals were wrong selections? This is the question. You agree? This is the question.
Maybe the journal has special issues.
This is not a
That
this
corporate.
is, yes, this is a regular issue.
Corporate governance.
Yes. And there was another paper also. You can search on net now. Risk management in infrastructure projects in public-private partnerships. No? And DA efficiency, which is a Springer journal also. You can click on my CV no, on the net now, and then you will see no. But this, do you agree that this is a dilemma? भाई बोलिए ये प्रॉब्लम है या नहीं है?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, ma'am.
ठीक है.
Yes, sir. Problem.
अब देखिए, some considerations but not all. For example, use of, should we use IBM MOS or PLS for SEM, or availability of IBM MOS or PLS for structure equation modeling, use of ANN in SPSS or use in MATLAB. For example, this is a MATLAB tool, and this is the, in the apps, this is the neural network fitting which is available here. Okay, which software to use? No, so it depends upon your research problems, and accordingly you are going to use. There are news like switching regression. I have given example, ADRL and mixed data in eViews, and there is toolbox in MATLAB available. Then what is the data availability, authenticity, cost, quality, sufficiency, and consistency? So these are some considerations to solve this puzzle. No? But what people have been doing, with your permission, Dr. Arora, Dr. Inu Singh, can I discuss something practical?
Yes. Yeah. It's your platform, sir.
Okay.
Right.
Even though it's a recording, no?
Yeah.
Happens is that sometimes there are institutions which have, you know, what is it? Green open source subscription. And in the green open source, $1,200, for example, maybe charged by Elsevier is funded by the institution, or a fees of $1,500 funded by the researcher. I am talking practically now. Everybody is listening. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, if you publish your paper as an open source and you are comfortable with $1,500 and the publisher is getting $1,500, why, or there will be definitely a less motivation for the publisher to publish free. Yeah, anybody asking question? Okay. Then, yes, sir. Can I continue, please? Yes, Ajay Sharma is not mute, no? Yes, am I audible now?
Yes, sir. You can continue. You are audible.
Okay. So why a publisher would publish for free? To my knowledge in management, no, approximately 60,000 papers have been written since this COVID time since March, and have been sent to so-called as Emerald, Taylor and Francis and InterScience journals. Okay. Third, I have found these are my personal observations. I've told you earlier also. Okay. To my mind, there are cartels which are happening, at a global level. There are cartels of editors, cartels of paper writers. Okay, that okay, you submit paper to this journal, I will accept your paper in that journal, and there is a lot of you know collaboration or cartel formation at editor levels. Then there are biases relating to regions and countries. Then the
Sir,
the editor is more concerned about the branding, and he thinks that developing country does not make a sense, na. So let us or the papers which should be published, whether they are of quality or not, they should be from developed countries, or at least the which countries which are economically stronger, and plus thousands of considerations, no? So what I found is since March is that there is some kind of randomness, no? Okay, as to your paper acceptance, no? And it is very difficult to model the selection of the journal. However, these considerations you can keep in mind: the availability of the application of latest techniques, matching with the scope and these things, and rest depends upon God. When there are thousands of papers submitted, okay, there may be some papers which are talking about a particular theme. In that case, editor also has a problem, which one to accept or reject. And when desk rejections are happening at such a fast rate, there is a possibility that good papers are also rejected in between. Okay. Any question from the participants? Okay, so when you have to publish papers, no, in good quality journals, then obviously you have to look at the methodology, the newness of research, and matching with objectives and themes, following a particular style of the journal, style of referencing, and over and above, what are the current trends in the issues of that journal? What kind of papers which are being published? So you have to match with the fashion and the style, and rest depends on God. Okay, so that's all from my side now. Okay, thank you very much. If you have any questions, please ask.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, continue. Peter Smith has joined us. He want to listen you also. Then welcome, Peter Smith. Please just say some words. You are here to everyone. Then after the session of Dr. Pankaj, then we love to listen you.
You see, sir, from my side, that I've given the points. Now it is for the participants to discuss. No? Okay. Participants to ask the questions. No?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. So we should publish open source.
No, I'm not suggesting, but I have seen higher probability of paper being accepted. No? This is I am confirmed. I have analyzed at least 50 research papers, their quality compared with the quality. Okay, and I found yes, there is an inclination towards acceptance of papers which are open source type, because the editor, the journal is getting the money.
So as an experienced researcher, what you will suggest, sir? Which software or which methods we should use most?
See that depends upon the research problem. And what I find is that many a times the paper is accepted okay, with very less efforts, and many a times a good paper is being rejected many times.
Yes, sir.
So given what I have discussed, the various considerations, you have to keep these considerations in mind. But one thing should be there. One thing I found that the relevance of the research and practical applicability of the research is very, very important in order to make a paper interesting and for the reviewer to accept the paper. Rest of the things are more mechanical. For example, if you have seen that I've shown you that my paper on corporate governance and risk bundling, that we have analyzed that how the corporate governance variables can lead to risk bundles, or the level of risk taken by companies, and which is altogether almost a new research globally. So, so there has to be an interest of the reviewer. Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, any other question? Okay, that's all from my side, sir. Thank you, sir.
Kumar Gupta. So, Renu.
It's a wonderful session given by the Pankaj Kumar Gupta sir, and he has given so many advantages related to the research, as well as how we can proceed for the making research design, how we can make the hypothesis, and what is the difference between the hypothesis as well as the proposition. And most of the researchers are don't know how we are getting rejections again and again, but Pankaj sir give a brief knowledge. It's a happening when we go for the making a new proposals. So it's a very beneficial for all the participants. And thank you, Pankaj sir, and thanks for give some suggestions as well as smoothly solve all the questions, either related to the research paper and either related to the any other kind of facing some kind of problem. So thanks again, Pankaj Kumar Gupta sir, and please join us because this session is continue with the Professor Peter Smith. So we are welcome to the Peter Smith sir by the Dr. Devinder Arora sir. So it's a request to the Pankaj Kumar Gupta sir. Please continue our session.
Okay.
Yes, Professor Pankaj, please stay with us.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope then two intellectual, because we have a Pankaj sir, professor, and second P for Peter. So double P are with us. So it means perfection is with us. All right. So here, hi, Professor Peter. Can we see you on a video, please?
Unmute. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a presentation I would like to make. Could I share my screen, please?
Yeah, please. So till then, Professor Peter share his screen. Then I wish to introduce Professor Peter Smith. He's my friend from last 1 decade. He is from University of Sutherland, United Kingdom. And University of Sutherland have a campus in UK, Europe, other part of Europe, and Hong Kong itself. And Professor has a big fellow of the British Computer Society and Higher Education Academy, and he published more than 250 plus paper and examined over 100 doctoral candidates in universities. So then once again, warm welcome, Professor Peter Smith. He's an emerite professor in computing and applied science of the University of Sutherland. So yeah, grand welcome with the digital clap of Peter Smith.
Thank you.
Yeah, Peter Smith, we all wish to see you also, our young guide. You have a 40-year experience. Still, you are a vibrant and young and source of inspiration for all of us.
Okay. Right, can you see my slides?
Yeah, please. We can see.
Right, what I want to talk about today is how to do a literature review. I think students at all levels, including master's students and PhD students, often find it difficult to do a literature review. So I want to talk about the process of doing a literature review in a sort of structured manner. Next slide. So I want to start with what is a literature review, how to plan your review, where to look for the literature, how to analyze the literature, and how to write your review. Next slide. I think, firstly, the important thing about literature review is trying to focus what your review is about, focusing the question, focusing the purpose of your review. And then once you've focused, you can't start to search for sources until you've focused your review. You really need a good focus, a good question, a good idea of what your review is about before you start your review. Then once you've got a good focus, you can start your search. Once you've done your search, you can review your papers, and finally, you can structure your review. Next slide, please. So what is a literature review? I think many students say, what is the purpose of the review? Why do I need to do it? What's the point of it? And what exactly is a literature review? These are quotes from actual students at all levels. I didn't know what to do. However, now I've done it, a few, it's starting to get easier. Next slide, please. So firstly, what is the literature? The literature is a body of knowledge out there. It's anything written by anyone in any form, in any language, anywhere in the world. It's in journals, it's in technical papers, it's on the web. It's everywhere out there. Okay. Next slide, please. Are you able to hear me? Yes?
Yes, Professor.
Fine, good. A literature review is often part of a bigger piece of work. So it's often part of a dissertation or a thesis. So you probably have an introduction, then you review the literature, then you explain your methodology, then you get your results, then you discuss them and come to a conclusion. And then you have a final reference list of all the literature which needs to be in a standard form such as Harvard form. Next slide, please. You need to think about, who are you writing the literature review for? Are you writing it for your supervisor? Are you writing it for an assessor? Are you writing it for your peers? Or are you writing it for external audience? The truth is, you're probably writing it for all these people. Your supervisor wants to read it to make sure that it's correct. It will be assessed at some point, either by an examiner or by a journal reviewer. And then it'll be read by your peers and by an external audience. So, and the important thing about literature reviews is it supports your argument and it supports your research, and it enables you to write for the external audience in a way that is informed by the literature. Next slide, please. Focus is a very important part of doing literature review. It takes place at different levels. You need to concentrate your thoughts and efforts on certain aspects of the review. You need to make choices. Which sources do you include while decide not to include others? Focus comes from having a viable research question which limits and directs your literature review. So the more focused your review is, the more viable it is to do your search. If your research isn't focused, then you could end up with literally thousands of articles. So you need to be systematic, and you need to make sure that you've got a well-focused question in order to limit the number of articles that you can find. Keep going, please. Next slide. Your research question leads you to different kinds of sources. When you've identified your sources, you need to read and review them. And you need to understand what you've read. You need to analyze them, critically analyze them, synthesize them, and evaluate them. In other words, you need to be critical. A good literature review is not simply a summary of what you've read. You need to discuss the strengths and weaknesses of each paper and think of the main points or themes arriving. Then finally, you need to structure your lit review at different levels. You need to have a structure that sets out your review in perhaps themes and then comes to a conclusion at the end, which reviews the whole literature and says what the purpose of the literature was. Next slide, please. So the process I'm talking about is focus your question, search the literature, review the literature, structure your review. And I think that's the process you all need to go through. Focus the question, do the search, review the literature, structure the review. Next slide, please. So focus, planning your review, find the focus, identify the sources, and plan your review. Next slide, please. Find the focus. Many students think this topic is so big, I can't possibly find it all. The literature is a monster, it's just too much. How on earth can I tackle it? So you need to focus it. You need to focus your question. Next slide, please. So you need to refine your topic. Start with a broad topic area. Do some searching to focus it and arrive at your final question, which is a topic which is manageable. Next slide, please. So, initial problem, you might have a big problem to look at. You do a broad search of the literature to help you refine your question. And finally, you come up with a sensible question. So our student there started with a big question on the state of the art of automotive engineering. He realizes this is a massive task. So he goes to Google Scholar and he searches for state of the art of automotive, and he gets 621,000 papers. He refines the same terms in the title, and he gets it down to 111 papers. He reviews these Uh, and finally comes up with this question: what is the state of the art of methods and tools to improve productivity in the automotive manufacturing industry? So he's gone from a very broad question to a much more refined question, which is easier to search on and will get a limited number of papers. Next slide, please. So what is the literature? The literature is everything out there. It's conference proceedings, it's books, it's government government
is most welcome, and we are good friend from India and abroad also. So for the closing remark, Professor Pankaj, would you like to say something?
Okay. I have said many things since morning, and I don't know how people take those things, no? But first, I would wish and pray that at least out of the discussion today, one or two very good research papers should come.
Yeah, definitely.
And people should understand also the practicality of research.
Great.
It is
That's
not
great.
just knowing the jargons or things, but practicality of research and how to actually get it papers published or otherwise enrolled, or how to get research projects. And my
That's
number, my email ID is already there, that you can discuss things with me. That is not an issue. Then over and above, what happens in such type of programs is that people share experiences. No?
yeah.
So what I would request all of you to share your experiences, your problems of research or otherwise relating to research in these forums only. Okay, apart from the lectures which are going on, this would add to your knowledge, not only knowledge but also solve many of your problems which are in an unconscious state of mind.
Yeah.
And
That's nice.
and one thing which I told you
For
about the
tomorrow,
research puzzle and research gap, that was out of my experiences. And when I gave the same lecture to my professors in uh, because one of the professor was also one of the speaker, that in some interview in the no in some development program in the university, then he also could realize that I have asked a wrong question to Dr. Gupta, no, at that point of time.
That's fact. That's
But
fact.
one thing is there that I've said in the last, no, that today there is a high randomness attached to the selection of the research paper in the journal, because there are thousands of papers and new methodologies and techniques, and there are new biases also which are coming. For example, one bias which was shared by some professor, but that was his comments only, that if you submit a paper to his journal and the chief editor of the journal is Chinese, no, there's a large possibility that your paper may be rejected, no, desk rejected, no. I don't know. This is another area of research, but obviously you have to agree that there are biases, no. However, by your quality research, you can overcome these biases. Okay,
Yeah.
so all the best to all of you, and for any discussions, because you are there in the, I think it's for 7 days, I guess, no? 5,
6
7
days, till Saturday.
Okay, 6 days. Then during these 6 days also you can mail to me if there are things. Then
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I will come on Zoom and solve your problem.
So nice, so nice, so kind of you, so kind of you, Professor. Yes, Nidhi, would you like to share something? Nidhi?
I just want to say I am feel very happy. Whatever Pankaj sir shared with us is really very helpful for us.
That's nice.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So tomorrow Zoom link will be send you either till evening or early in the morning, or might be this Zoom link remains same. So there's a just today evening we will clear to everyone. All right. So anyone want to share? Yeah, Narseen. I saw that you open your mic. Yeah. Yes, please, Narseen.
Yes.
Welcome.
Well, thank you so much. I would like to say, I couldn't register for this, but I got the Zoom link from my friend. So that's why I was asking for the Zoom link for tomorrow's session, because I would like to be in this session tomorrow, because it's very helpful for us. Like new researchers, we are on the way of completing our research, and that's why I would like to be one of the panelists or one of the participants in the Zoom link tomorrow, in the Zoom session tomorrow. Sorry, sir, I can't hear. You're not audible.
Yes, just you can see my email ID in chat box and you share me your details, so we will register you. All right, Narseen. And thank you for coming, everyone. Most welcome. Yes. All right, Professor. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Yes, so we will meet tomorrow. The same time, I think 11 a.m. we will start again with tomorrow we have another very good professor, Professor Prabhat Mittal. He is a SPSS expert. He will be with us. So nice evening and stay healthy, stay wealthy. So good wishes to everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.